The day I retired, I thought I'd finally be free. No more alarm clocks, no more meetings, no more answering to anyone. I had the savings. I had the plan. I had everything they told me to have. And on the very first Monday morning, when I didn't have to go anywhere, I sat at my kitchen table and I felt the most lost I had ever felt in my entire life. Nobody warned me about this, not one person. If you've ever felt that way, stay with me, because this video is going to change how you think about everything that comes next. Here's the truth nobody says out loud. We were handed a broken map. Our whole lives, the message was the same. Work hard, save money, then someday you'll be happy. Retirement was the finish line, the reward, the destination. But nobody told us what happens when you cross that line and realize you don't know who you are without the title, without the schedule, without the thing you spent 35 years becoming. And here's what makes this even harder. The people around us are watching. Our kids, our spouse, our friends. And everyone expects us to be relieved, to be grateful, to be thriving. So we smile and say, "It's wonderful. I'm loving every minute." Even when we're not. I want to talk about why we do that, and why it's costing us more than we know. Sinek, one of the greatest thinkers on human motivation, says this: people don't buy what you do, they buy why you do it. I'd spent my whole career focused on the what, the job, the role, the paycheck. But my why, I had no idea. And the moment the what disappeared, I was left with nothing but silence. Think about what that means. For decades, your identity was built around your role. You were the provider, the expert, the one people came to with problems, the decision maker. Those things didn't just give you income. They gave you a reason to get up in the morning. They gave you a sense that your existence mattered. And then, on one specific date, that structure disappeared. The phone stops ringing. The emails slow down. Nobody needs your opinion anymore. And if you haven't built something to replace that structure, the silence can become deafening. This is not weakness. This is human nature. Now let me tell you something I've never said out loud before. About 3 months into retirement, I stopped getting out of bed before 9. I stopped calling friends. I gained 12 pounds. I watched 4 hours of television every single day. And I kept telling myself, this is fine. I earned this rest. But deep down, I knew it wasn't fine. Because rest feels good when you've been working hard. But when rest becomes the entire day, every day, for weeks on end, it stops feeling like rest. It starts feeling like disappearing. There's a researcher named Brené who has spent decades studying courage and vulnerability, and she says this: vulnerability is not weakness. It's our greatest measure of courage. That hit me like a truck, because the most vulnerable thing I could do in that moment was admit, I am lost. I do not know what comes next, and that terrifies me. The moment I said that out loud to my wife, something shifted. Not because the answer appeared, but because I stopped pretending. And that one decision, to stop pretending, became the beginning of everything that came after. So let me ask you something directly. How many of you right now are pretending? Maybe you're not retired yet. Maybe you're 55 or 58 and you can feel it coming. The clock is ticking toward a date when everything changes. And instead of preparing emotionally, you're running the numbers again. Or maybe you are retired and you've been telling everyone it's wonderful while privately wondering what happened to you. Here's what I've learned. The financial side of retirement, as complicated as it feels, is actually the easy part. You can run the numbers. You can model the scenarios. You can hire an advisor, but nobody can tell you who you're going to be when the job title disappears. That part, you have to figure out yourself. And most people don't start thinking about it until they're already in the middle of the crisis. Now I want to give you something practical, because I don't believe in spending 10 minutes identifying a problem without offering something you can actually use. There are 3 questions I now believe every person over 50 should be able to answer. Not someday, right now. Question 1. Who are you when nobody is watching and nothing is required of you? Not what do you do? Who are you? Most people, when they sit with that question, for the first time, go completely blank. That blank feeling is important information. It tells you that your identity has been entirely external, built on roles, on titles, on what others needed from you. The work of the second half is making it internal. Question 2. What would you do if you knew for certain it wouldn't fail and nobody would judge you for trying? That question strips away the noise. It removes the fear of looking foolish. And what's left? That's often closer to your real purpose than anything you've done professionally. I've asked this question to dozens of people in their 50s and 60s. The answers are almost always things like I'd write, I'd teach, I'd build something with my hands, I'd help people who are struggling with what I struggled with. None of those things require a title. None of them require permission. Question 3. What do you want people to say about you at 80? Not at your retirement party, not when you're successful. At 80, looking back, that question has a way of clarifying what actually matters. Because the answer is almost never, he had a great 401k, or she was very disciplined with her budget. The answer is almost always about impact, about connection, about the lives that were different because of theirs. And when you know what that answer is, you can start building toward it right now. Here's something that surprised me when I started having these conversations. The loneliness epidemic among seniors in America is one of the most underreported public health crises of our time. Studies show that loneliness has the same health impact as smoking. 15 cigarettes a day. Think about that. 15 cigarettes a day, and yet we don't talk about it. We don't treat it. We barely acknowledge it. Because there's a story in our culture that says, successful people figure things out on their own. Asking for help is weakness. Admitting you're lonely is embarrassing. So people suffer in silence, in beautiful houses, with comfortable bank accounts, and absolutely nobody to call. The antidote is simpler than you think, and harder than you'd expect. It requires you to be honest, first with yourself, then with one other person. Not a grand announcement, not a public confession, just one conversation where you stop performing, I have it all together. Here's your homework for this week. One conversation. That's it. Find one person, your spouse, a close friend, a sibling, someone you trust, and say these words. I've been pretending I have it all figured out, but honestly, I'm still figuring it out. That's it. Nothing more. Because here's what happens when you say that. The other person exhales, their shoulders drop, and 9 times out of 10, they say, me too. Because almost everyone in their 50s and 60s is carrying the same quiet uncertainty, and almost nobody is talking about it. The moment you break the silence, you're not just helping yourself, you're giving someone else permission to be honest too. That's how it starts. I began this video by telling you about the morning I sat at my kitchen table and felt completely lost. What I didn't tell you is what happened next. That morning, my wife walked in, sat down across from me, and asked, "Are you okay?" And for the first time in months, I didn't say, "I'm fine." I said, "No, not really." That conversation lasted 3 hours. It was one of the most important conversations of my life. Not because it solved anything, but because it was real. And from that conversation came a question she asked me that I've been chasing ever since. She said, "If you could do anything right now, with no rules and no excuses, what would it be?" I didn't have an answer that day, but the question planted something. And over the next 6 months, I found it. I want to help you find yours. That's why this channel exists. Not to give you another financial checklist, not to tell you what to do with your IRA, but to have the conversations that actually matter. About identity, about purpose, about what it means to live well in the second half. If that's the kind of conversation you've been hungry for, subscribe. Every week, I'm going to be here, telling the truth, building something real. You were not built to disappear quietly.